Hello there, this is DBT, and this Art of Rooms. And alright, let's continue playing, rather talking about Asphalt 8, because today we're going to be having a look at the patch notes for update 66. Now, this update will be released soon from the time that this video is being released, but regardless, I know that I'm a few days late on uploading this video, or making this video, talking about the patch notes, but you know that I normally like to take a little bit of time while I read the patch notes, while I process what they could mean and all of that stuff. So here we are. Without further ado, let's have a look at what update 66 has for us. And that's right, update 66, the number of the beast, or something. I don't know, whatever. All right, so it says, racers, gear up for the latest thrilling update of Asphalt 8 as we introduce new features, vehicles, and events to enhance your racing experience. Here's what you can expect in update 66. Number 1, new features. Enhanced onboarding experience. We're rolling out the second part of our improved onboarding process, complete with more tutorials for newcomers, lower requirements for unlocking features, and streamlined welcome process. So, from the last patch, since the last patch, they had already started working on this, on adding some additional tutorials for the newer players of the game. Now, obviously for us that have been playing this game for quite a while, all of this seems rather obvious, but for newer players, I do imagine that there's gotta be a bunch of things that are not super easy to understand at first. So it's good that Gameloft continues to try to make the game more accessible to the newer player, to the newest players, because at the end of the day, everyone, the players, Gameloft as a company, we want more players in the game for the game to continue to be alive, so that's good. Now, excuse me, while I think this is the part that it's interesting, the fact that they lowered the requirement for features, that is to say, like, you know, how TLEs are locked behind a certain amount of stars in career and all of that. If they continue to lower that, it definitely makes it a little bit more welcoming, because nowadays, I do imagine it's not as easy for the newest players to unlock TLEs as it was 5 years ago, when you would be able to get more cars for free easily. But oh well. Alright, next point says, TLE Hub adjustment. The TLE Hub has been updated for better readability, making your experience smoother and more enjoyable. Now, this is again something that they had done already before on creating the new layout for the TLE Hub. And while the current one is definitely, what would I say, serviceable, I did say that there's one thing that I don't like about it. And if we go over here to the TLE Hub, which is this is the normal stuff that we know, so there's nothing too special on this other than the fact that I like that it's color-coded and whatever. But, excuse me for the coughing, I'm still coughing, believe it or not. What I did say that I don't like about this specific layout is the fact that this section that it's, you know, like tabs, I guess, it's supposed to be like tabs, it doesn't have enough differentiation visually than this whole section. So for someone that doesn't know, this might be a little bit confusing. In fact, it was for me at first. Obviously, I have gotten used to it by now, but I do believe that this could do with a little bit of work. I did say it on the other video, so hopefully some of that was taken into account. Not saying that what I say needs to be done or anything, but you know, I do believe that it's a bit of a design situation that it's kind of confusing. Alright, next up we have new upgrade recipes. Some ranks and classes of vehicles now require not 500 upgrade parts, but only 380. That means a decrease of about 120 parts. Now, this sounds like a good thing, and I'm sure it's going to be a good thing, but obviously, I would imagine that that's mostly for the, what would I say, for the lower ranked cars. Now, it's worth mentioning that, yeah, some vehicles, a lot of vehicles, require about 500 parts in total, but that is actually, I believe, from Class B upwards, because the lower Class C and D require less, because there's no techs and there's no engines over there, but still, the difference are not that huge. So I'm really curious to see where it is that they're going to apply these new quote-unquote recipes, and hopefully it's going to make the process easier to upgrade cars of lower ranks, because I have said before that I'm really not super interested in upgrading Class D cars, because they just seem very expensive to upgrade. Obviously, the lowest of the lowest, like classes of 1050 or 1140, those are okay in prices, but when you're talking about 1230 and 1320, those are really expensive, in my opinion, way too expensive to upgrade. So hopefully they have reworked a little bit of that, but we'll see. Alright, next up we got, when playing the classic MP Season or Gauntlet mode, the player has the opportunity to receive tokens from daily box rewards. Now, this is something that has been already added in the game. We already have it. I've made some videos precisely talking about how now we can get tokens. And obviously there's always going to be negative Nancy's everywhere that are going to complain that, oh my god, but tokens are now useless. Nah, I call BS on that. The tokens are still definitely useless in order to acquire cars that have been locked for forever behind tokens, to get liveries for some of the older cars that are really cool but are behind token quote-unquote paywalls that are not paywalls anymore. You can use it to skip stages in special events, to refill your fuel for TLEs, for time-limited events. And another thing that I even forgot to mention the last time is that you can use tokens to buy storage. Holy moly, storage! Storage is always a problem, so the fact that now you can grind to get your tokens and then use it to increase your storage, I think that's a fantastic thing. So yeah, I do believe that this is a good change, even though it's already in the game, but hey, they just wanted to include it here to make it official. But alright, next up we got new content vehicles. Jump into the driver's seat with the new and returning cars, including... And I'm gonna read this out of order, for the reasons that I will explain. We got the Ford Mustang Mach-E 1400, which looks like this. Now, I got a couple of things to say. This is a very controversial car, because it's called a Mustang, but it no longer is a sports coupe car. Instead, this is more like an SUV looking vehicle, and there's a lot of people that have a problem with that, because obviously the Mustang has always represented a certain type of car, and now that it's all electric and it's actually an SUV, people are like, this is not a real Mustang. They just slapped the word Mustang and they gave the little horse over there so that it would sell more. And to a certain extent, I agree. I personally am not that invested into Mustangs or anything, so to me, it doesn't make much of a difference. And in fact, I do believe that this thing looks absolutely bonkers with the big wing and all of that. So there is that. But yeah, there's some people that don't like this car because they're like, this is not a real Mustang, and you know, I can kind of understand it. I can. Next up, we have the VLF Force 1. Now, this is a car that for a long time I had never heard about, but thanks to Asphalt 9, I know it. And it's this thing right here. Now, honestly, this picture is not super flattering for it, but yeah, this is the car. It is a cool, fancy looking car. Honestly, like I said, I don't know too much about the brand or anything. All I know is that this car was featured in Asphalt 9, and it's an okay car, so there is that. And then, of course, the one that I wanted to talk about at last is the Apollo Evo, because you know that I like bonkers cars, don't you? Yeah, pretty bonkers. Yeah, this is the Apollo Evo. It's basically like this is successor of the Apollo Intensa Emozione, that you know that it's a car that I absolutely adore because of how cool it looks. Now, this car is completely insane looking. It's very, very, very over designed, and I think that because of that, there's gonna be a bunch of people that are not gonna like this car because it looks just too crazy. But you know that I'm this type of person that like cars that looks like Hot Wheels. So this is fine by me, and I'm actually really excited to acquire this car in this game. So yes, that's cool by me. I'll take it. Now, it does say returning cars. Obviously, all three of these are new, but over here it says the return of the Formula E Gen 2. Now, all right, here's where I gotta say I'm really, 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 really glad about this. This is a car that, from what I understand, was only available for a limited amount of time in the game, and after that, it was never made available again. Ever since I started playing the game seriously, what was it, 3-4 years ago, whenever it was. 3 years, I think. I've been wanting to have this car because it looks very dope, and I know that it's there because people use it. Some people use it, the people that have been that were able to unlock it whenever it was made available. But ever since, not once has been made available. I would say that this is probably from the cars that are still in rotation in the game. This is probably the rarest in the sense that, yeah, there's some cars that were in rotation before and now they're no longer available, like the Masanti cars, but those cars were available for a long time and then they got removed because of the quote-unquote removed or hidden, let's say, because of licensing issues or whatever it is, right? But no, the case on this car is different because the car was made available for a very limited amount of time, and after that, goodbye. Nobody else gets it. You cannot get it through keys. There's no way to acquire this car, and I've been wanting to have it for the longest time, and now to see it coming back, oh man, that makes me so happy. But alright, that's as far as the new content. Again, I'm really happy to see that the Apollo Evo is coming because I love that car. Anyway, we got decals and avatars, and this is where things get interesting. Decals. Customize your ride with the new decals for the Lamborghini Sian FKP37, the beautiful Sian. A new decal, and I have no idea what it looks like, but hey, it's for the Sian, so I'm not gonna complain. I really wish that we would get some decals for the Centenario so that we could have the Centenario looking in something else that isn't black. But still, I'm just saying. Female avatars. Expand your avatar collection with 9 new female avatars. A special activation for March 8th featuring unique Phoenix avatar. And all right, I'll pause right here. because obviously the next part is interesting too. But the part that I'm a little bit confused about this is where it says avatar collection with 9 new female avatars. I think what they mean is existing avatars that now have a female version. You know, that there's a bunch that didn't have it yet, so I think that's what this is about. Not that this is a straight up 9 new avatars altogether, so I think that's what it is. Featuring the unique Phoenix avatar. I don't know if this is also just for female, I don't know. But okay, I have no idea what it looks. And of course, the part that really interests me is, and a new avatar costume from our 2023 Creator of the Year winner. Who's that? DBT's from Let's Go, baby! Oh yeah, oh yeah. Now, this is not going to be a full-on avatar thing. It's a piece of clothing related to DBTs of rooms. So that is kind of neat. That is kind of neat. Now, it would be cool to know what it looks like, right? It really would be cool. But all right, yeah, so it's really, I mean, I already made a video talking about how I'm really, really flattered to have become the Creator of the Year. And now that I'm gonna be in some way inside of the game, that really, really makes me happy because of all of the reasons that I've explained that this game is so special to me, on how it rekindled my love for racing games and it got me to where I am right now. But oh well. Really cool, really exciting. There might be an opportunity to talk more about this later. Just saying. All right, next we have exciting events. Racing passes. Don't miss the Racing Pass 13 with the Apollo Evo. Oh yeah, baby! It's a Racing Pass car. I love that idea. I was afraid that it was gonna be a Treasure Rush car, but no, it's a Racing Pass car, and that makes me so happy. Racing Pass 14 featuring the Ford Mustang Mach-E, also a Racing Pass car. You know, I'm okay with that. I do like the car, so I'll be fine also getting it. And then we got car hunts. Chase down a selection of high-speed powered cars in a car hunt event, ranging from the McLaren P1 GTR to the Triumph Nemesis. Now, for example, the McLaren P1 GTR is one of those cars that I was talking about that normally is locked behind tokens only. So for the longest time, I would have been like, hey, if you really like this car and you've always wanted it, maybe you want to spend... well, it's still going to be the same situation, but now that you can get tokens for free, you can also consider it that way. Insane. But oh well, you know how car hunts go, so yeah. And finally, Treasure Rush. Check out the VLF Force 1 and the Lamborghini Huracan Evo Spider on our Treasure Rush events. All right, so first off, the VLF Force, the newer car, the one that I said that I know from Asphalt 9, it's going to be Treasure Rush. Personally, I'm not super interested on that car because I don't like that car all that much. So I'm not gonna be wailing on it or anything. As usual, if I'm able to unlock it by just dumb luck, great. If not, it's fine. And then we got the Lamborghini Huracan Evo Spider. Now this is interesting because this is a car much like the excuse me, much like the last Treasure Rush, or well, the one that is running right now at the time that I'm recording this, with the Reventon Roadster. These are cars that were featured in special events as the main car. The Treasure Rushes for those special events were different. So yeah, I guess they're starting to make these cars that may not necessarily be previous Treasure Rush cars into Treasure Rush, which is a little bit of a really convoluted situation because, being completely honest, for example, the Huracan Evo Spider should be a car that you should be able to get through a Master Key because it's of the rank of 1860. And you know that Master Key should have 1858, 59, 60, and 61. It's not supposed to have 62 and 64. But the fact that now they're making a Treasure Rush with the Huracan Evo makes me think that they're not super interested in updating the keys. So that is a bit of a situation that should be addressed in my opinion. But all right. Special activations. Easter celebration. Enjoy a festive twist with the Easter eggs replacing Nitro Boosters during the event. Nitro Boosters. So this sounds like an interesting little thingy. Though I don't know what is the deal with the Easter eggs. Is it gonna be just Nitro pickups that just look like Easter eggs, or is it like a collectible situation where, hey, you need to collect this many of this and all of that? I hope it's more than just a replacement or reskin of a Nitro bottle. I hope it has a little bit more involvement. Hey, you gotta collect this many of this color, or you gotta, I don't know, something like that. So we'll see how it goes. Then we got the Dash Diva Cup. Prepare for the return of our favorite girl. Don't miss the chance to acquire the avatar from the event prizes, because who doesn't like some eye candy? I'm just saying. But yeah, Dash Diva Cup, so this will be your opportunity to get that costume. Then we got the Formula E events. Be on the lookout for the Formula E races across different locations. Now, I'm gonna go out on a limb over here and say that maybe this is somewhat close to what Asphalt 9 is going to be doing, because Asphalt 9 is also bringing the Formula E, so I think it's probably some sort of a sponsored event by Formula E to, well, showcase the car again and bring attention to the Formula E sports. So I don't know. We'll see how it goes. But hey, again, I'm really hyped to have this car back available. And hopefully it's going to be a way that it doesn't require Treasure Rush or something like that. Given that it's a Class C car, I don't imagine it's going to be too difficult, but we'll see. Though it's a really strong car in the bracket, but whatever. A special collaboration for March 8th featuring unique Phoenix Avatar. Again, we'll see collaboration with... Ooh, Phoenix? Is this a person? Maybe this is a person, I don't even know. Okay, cool. And then we got the Ramadan Cup. A special cup to celebrate the holidays. Well, yeah, doesn't tell us anything. And more. So... we're excited for you to dive into this update and continue your quest for racing domination. Update now and hit the track in style. Race on! Alright, so... excuse me for the coughing, guys. I'm really sorry, but this keeps on happening. So, the patch notes aren't super long. And I gotta say, much like a lot of people, I would dare to guess, there's some disappointment to be had over here on the fact that there's no rebalances. I've been waiting for the rebalance of the Lambo Sesto Elemento for the longest time, and it's there. But obviously, that's not the only car. There's a bunch of other cars. There's not that many, in fact. Not that many cars that require rebalances now. But for some reason, Gameloft has completely forgotten about doing rebalances for the last, I don't know how many updates. And that is a bit sad because I did think that... I've been very vocal about that the rebalances were a good thing in the game. But now that it's taking so long for the rebalances to be finished, I'm like, come on, Gameloft, you started this. You made us excited about having some of these cars that used to be useless now being useful, so come on, bring it on. And again, there's not that many left to rebalance, so I really wish that Gameloft was to just be like, okay, here we go. In this update, we finish up rebalancing the cars. There you go, enjoy. So, yeah. And you know what? I'm gonna break my NDA. Screw it. I'm sorry, Gameloft, I'm gonna talk about what I'm not supposed to talk. The new clothing item with the DBT thingy is gonna be shoelaces. It's gonna be amazing. And obviously I'm joking about that. No, you'll see what it is. But if you wanna get a heart and a pin on this video, you need to leave me the key phrase, which for today, it's going to be, I can wait to get the DBT theme shoelaces in the game. It's going to be amazing. First person to post it gets a heart, a pin. You know how this whole thing works. It's just, extending the joke a little bit. But yeah, you will see very soon what it is that the clothing item is and how it looks. And man, let me tell you, it is pretty cool. But alright, that's gonna do it for this video. If you enjoyed it, you know what to do. Hit the like button, all of that good stuff. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.